shooting right here in the Bay State, more specifically, folks, right here in Boston. The Equalizer, Denzel Washington, and The Judge with Robert Downey Jr.
And Robert Duvall.
And Robert Duvall as well.
Yes. And if everybody's, like I told the show about a month ago we were on, I was trying to get Denzel Washington. I was trying to talk to his people to try to get a clip for him to come on the show or even say hi to everybody and give us like 10, 15 minutes. But he's actually working tonight in Chelsea. He's a busy, busy man. He has schedule
right. And as you know, Jim, and many of the people know from watching the program, when a movie is being shot here in Boston, there's a minimum of at least 12 hours you have to commit. I mean, at least. And you're not even going to commit to anything under that. I mean, you probably could be working 14, 15, 16 hours on a set.
Easily, John. And then, like I said, they're working tonight. They didn't start till 5:15 tonight, so they're working till 5 in the morning at least. So that's a tough schedule.
Erica Derrickson, Lydia Rivera join us tonight. And it's a pleasure to have you both on our program tonight.
It's great to be here, John.
Thank you.
And Jim and I are going to ask some good questions, some important questions about the industry. Both of you have experience in the industry, and I understand you have a tape for us, something that people are going to have a chance to see tonight.
Yes, I brought my demo reel with me tonight. It's a 2-minute compilation of some of the work that I've done here in New England.
And a lot of people sitting home, right, Jim, are saying to themselves right now,
what's that number?
What's that number? Because I want to talk to Erica about that demo tape, because I want one too. 617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. Our phone banks are now open, and our operators are standing by, folks. You can call us up. Jim, what's going on in the city?
Everything, John. We're hot now. I mean, the weather's hot. I know that.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Everybody like myself who has to work in it 5 days a week, but we're just starting to do more. And I hear there's 2 more movies coming up. I hear Billy Dow will be in next week.
And he's a casting director, right?
Yes, he's
and
a casting director.
Was it R.I.P.D. or Heat that he was? I think he worked on Heat too.
He was on Heat. Yeah.
And that, in fact, that just got released a few weeks ago.
Yes, it did.
And R.I.P.D. is that released
tonight.
as of tonight?
Tonight, it's coming out tonight. Yeah. And Heat came out when it came out. I think it came out. It was number 2, but it was a big draw.
It got a lot of good reviews.
Oh
too.
Yeah.
I was in the Heat.
Yeah.
Jim and I worked on that as well.
Police officer. I was a police officer.
Yeah. And R.I.P.D. as well.
Yeah, police officer. I'm a police officer all the time. That's why when you get this face, what else could you be? You know,
well, it's a good it's a good opportunity too, because a lot of actors here in Boston have a chance to be in that, and a lot of real police officers sometimes get called for that as well.
They do.
And Erica, we're going to see a demo tape, right? And give us a little more information about what that comprises.
So this is actually a demo that a demo reel that I finally built after about a year of working here in New England. Only one of the clips that you'll see, there's a sort of car accident scene.
Okay.
That was filmed in LA right before I moved to Boston. That was from Rafi Baby, which is my film that actually went to the Cannes Film Festival last summer, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it was pretty awesome starting my acting career here in New England last summer, and my only real project that I was proud to show for myself ended up going to Cannes. So it was nice to be able to have that piece to build my career on.
And like when you go to LA, you work in LA. Have you worked there, or have you been out? You were out there.
I was out there. I was working. I was living and working out in LA before I moved to Boston, and you know, it was hard for me to leave and feel like I was leaving the acting scene behind, and then coming to Boston and realizing that there's a really amazing, vibrant,
This
dynamic,
is the acting scene here too,
exactly.
as Jim and I can tell you,
exactly.
and as you well know.
Yeah, so the clips that you'll see are a variety of different projects that I've done, web series, student films, just a whole
That's how
range.
you start out.
Exactly.
That's how you start.
Exactly. When you start, you have to take anything and everything you can get.
Go.
And then with the hopes of putting together a demo reel like this. So this is a work in progress. This is not the final. I'm working on the next version now, but this is what I'm working with right now.
And a lot of people are going to be interested in seeing what that is. Lydia Rivera, and you join us from?
I just started my own business. I formerly was a spokesperson at the T, and I've been in SAG since '97, but I'm doing more of it now. I used to do voiceovers a lot. I used to call, when I was younger, I did a lot of auditions for voiceovers, and I was in Good Will Hunting back in that day.
That was one of the first. That was one of the first. Yeah.
And the other one, Good Will Hunting, Civil Action. There was a third one.
Celtic Pride.
No.
That was one that was shot here in Boston, 1996. Blown up.
Blown up.
Blown away.
Blown away.
Blown away.
Yeah.
So With that said, I've been in the business for a while. I'm doing more now because I have more time as I build my PR business.
But voiceovers, now that's a big thing nowadays.
Voiceovers
a lot of people
are
are getting into
great.
voiceovers.
Especially with a lot of animation, too.
Right.
Yeah,
The number one movies animation nowadays.
The name of the game is public relations.
It is PR.
No, that's it. That's if you were to say, what's the one thing that this whole business is predicated on to get your product known? Of course, that's in any business, folks, pretty much. But the movie industry, the television industry, the entertainment industry itself, because people want to know, they want to know what's out there. And public relations, you're telling them. I can't think of a more salient business.
It's about the like being a publicist. I spent many years just promoting, obviously, transportation officials and the transportation secretary, the general manager, and it is about branding somebody. So if you turn around that towards yourself, about branding yourself and selling yourself, you could have a successful career here in Boston as an actor.
And your job, that job's not a Monday through Friday, that's a 7-day-a-week work and 12 hours a day also.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You know? So I'm used to the grind. Yeah. So having the opportunity to do more of the acting and auditions, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, how did you get involved with that? I know you have an eclectic background as far as public relations, but how did you actually get involved with the SAG and the acting? And for the people who are watching at SAG, as Screen Actors Guild, it's merged now with AFTRA, and it's the union for the motion picture and television industries.
I just have to tell you that I had an interest in that when I was younger, and I went through Angela Perry. I've known Angela
from Boston Casting.
Oh yeah, Boston Cast. She's great. I've known her for probably 16, 17 years.
Every actor in the area is registered with her.
Exactly, and she's great. And again, as I built my career at the T, it was obviously a demanding hour, so I didn't do a lot. So I kind of left that scene for a good decade because I continued to elevate at the MBTA in my career. Then I came back and she was welcoming and it worked.
Well, what's your PR company specifically involved with? Is it the business itself, just the business itself, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's public relations, community outreach, it's branding.
Right.
And
branding means what specifically?
Branding is a company that just wants to re-energize their image.
Right.
And branding too would be someone, even like a politician.
Right.
Or a major, like a general manager of an organization, whether it's a private entity, that wants to enhance their image to sell a product. So it's image building. And it is like if someone called me and asked me to help them get on projects with SAG, I could help them.
Right.
Because it all kind of, it's kind of the same when you're just building someone's reputation or image.
You know
it
what
really
I need?
does work.
I need somebody to do my resume.
Yeah.
Can you
See,
do my resume?
I do people's resumes as well. Yes, I do.
So this is like an all-service type PR.
Yeah, I help people get jobs. I rewrite their resumes. I try to build on their strengths, and then I send them out. And it's worked.
Right. Now, Erica, a resume for you is your demo tape. Pretty much.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
It's one of the tools that I use in my PR campaign to brand myself as an actor.
Right.
It's definitely been one of my greatest tools to help me.
Now, let me ask a question. You started in LA.
No. My journey is very long and complicated. The first time I've always wanted to get into acting. It's always been a desire that I've had, but I was too afraid to pursue it when I was younger because I just honestly didn't really have anyone who was encouraging me. I think I just really needed someone to believe in me. Yeah. And then when I was living in New York in 2009, I was going to Parsons School of Design. That's when I first took an action to get myself on screen, and that was to make some connections at the New York Film Academy. By make connections, I mean walk in, and I was totally terrified. I thought everyone was going to turn and like hiss at me because I was obviously a fraud. You know, who was I to think that I could be an actor? Right. So that was back in 2009 in New York, but I never really had the courage to go after it. But I did get my first few little credits, and then after that year in New York, I then moved to LA, and that's where I started doing more projects, and then I got the Rafi Baby project, and so that set of experiences helped really prep me to be in Boston.
Prepared you for all this.
Exactly. It prepared me to sort of hit the ground running here in Boston once I made the decision to quit my job and just go for it.
Cool. Anytime.
And there's a lot going on here in the city. There's no question about that.
Yeah. There's so much more coming on, and I think that helps everybody here. It helps the economy also. It gives people jobs, not only us, but it gives the people who work at the bakery, at the corner store, and people like that, you know, because they have to buy stuff. The hotels are more crowded nowadays because of the, upkeep in 2 movies here. You got to
Right.
put
And
all these
also
people up.
Right, and also the public relations that generate. We're talking about public relations, Lydia.
Yeah.
The public relations that these movies generate, because people who live in various parts of the country and parts of the world see Boston. They say, "Hey, that's a great-looking city. I think I'm going to go see that myself. I'm going to see Boston myself."
Those tax incentives
Absolutely.
are the big key.
And that's
to
why,
everything.
Jim, that's a great point. That's why Jim and I are always reminding people the tax breaks here in Massachusetts is so important, folks, because it brings the motion picture industry here to Massachusetts, and these projects get done here because Boston and the confines and various other places in Massachusetts, it's so appealing to the movie industry. But in order for them to come here, the tax breaks an attractive package for them.
Yes, it is.
And that's where you can help. You can contact your local senator, your state senator, not your federal senator, but your state senator and your state rep, and say, hey, look, make sure that you vote for those tax packages for the movie industry here in Massachusetts, because we want to see more movies made here. We want the movie industry to be here, and gives us a chance to work in it too.
We want to do what we love to do, where we love to do it.
Yeah.
It also brings in big money to the state, folks, on a public relations level. I mean, I can't.
And it also
say
lets
more
us
about it than
compete
that.
against Hollywood, New York, and when people see Boston, in a tax centers, like you say, are important. But the actors and actresses who come here,
Right.
You know, Ben Affleck, who
Right.
from Cambridge, who loves to make movies here,
Right.
and Mark Wahlberg loves to make movies here. The local actors who are giving back to the
Right.
communities here.
Right.
And that's important, I think, to anybody.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock's been
You
here,
know,
a couple, Kevin,
all the
Kevin
big
James,
ones, right.
Melissa
Adam Sandler.
McCarthy is famous for having said that she
Yes.
fell in love with Boston
Yes,
while filming
very,
Heat here.
She was a very nice lady. I met her
Oh,
on
she's
Heat.
so sweet.
Very nice lady. She's
And also,
funny.
She's
and
funny.
it gives
She's
local actors or actors in the region a chance to ply their trade.
That's right.
Well, really, there's almost pretty much no better place to get into acting than Boston.
Right.
Just because uniquely alone, the number of schools and universities in this city, there's so many opportunities for people to get experience acting just being in student projects.
I know Emerson College watches our show
Emerson
a lot.
They do.
College
A lot
is
of students
wonderful
do
school.
tremendous.
I got a kid's number. He's going to come on the show. He's a director on Emerson. He likes the show.
Emerson has a satellite in L.A. too, in Burbank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerson does great work, and
They
the
do.
students there are just so, they know their craft so well. I love working with Emerson students. Actually, you'll see a clip from one of my projects with an Emerson student in my reel.
Let's get ready to watch that. Before we watch that, though, let's give our home audience an opportunity to give us a call. 617-708-3280. 617-708-3280. We're cablecasting live right here from the BNN TV studio. And that's right, folks. We are now worldwide.
PR perspective, there you go. You got a good.
Very, very good.
That's a demo tape that you give to producers, is that correct? Or people casting directors that are interested in auditioning you?
Exactly. So when I apply to an audition or when someone reaches out to me
Right.
to see if I'm interested in doing a project with them, that's what I'll share with them as sort of like my digital business card.
Now, how does something like that get produced?
Well, I actually, the clips themselves or the reel itself?
The reel itself.
So I actually worked with a friend of mine, and we did sort of a barter of services. I do a lot of stuff in my career just through barter. You know, everybody has something of value to share, and so, you know, for example, I'll do headshots for someone. The next version of my reel,
Right.
I'm doing headshots for this editor in Rhode Island, and he's cutting the next version
That's
of my
why
reel.
networking is so important in this business.
Networking, and also just, I think one thing that's really distinguished me and helped me really get a lot done in the past year is that I don't see myself in competition with anyone. I very much consider myself to be someone who's building a team, and I'm always looking for those all-star players that I want to work with. And so as I go forward, I look for key people I want to work with. I always find ways to help people, and you know, that's sort of been my philosophy as I build my acting career.
And one thing you did on that reel that people should do, you don't show one side, you show different sides.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly.
That's key.
Well, you know, as an actor
From a PR
and
point of
talking
view.
about branding yourself, you know, you want to be able to show a range.
Right.
And so in that reel, I had everything from, you know, the evil, bitchy character, pardon my French, to lead characters. You know, there was a commercial for Ion Audio down there. I've done in Rhode Island, I've done a bunch of commercials for there. I'm almost known as the Ion Girl.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, and that's in this business, and we always talk about this, Jim and myself. you're involved with everything in this business, writing,
and
producing.
you need to be, because this is there's so much to this business, and you can wear so many hats. You know, I some of those that you saw, I'm also the producer on those clips. I know there are at least 2 of them in there. So, you know, being an actor, I find you're not going to find success by waiting for jobs to just arrive. You have to have a very sort of make it happen philosophy.
You have to have a proactive approach.
Exactly. My tools are the result of a very proactive approach to this industry.
You can't sit back, wait for that phone call. You have to go out and make your phone call.
Exactly.
And the PR world is a proactive approach too.
Well, absolutely, but I think, you know, Eric is smart about that. From my experience, even in the PR world and coming back into this world of doing extra work and et cetera and auditions, you can't worry. It's not a competition because everyone has their unique abilities and they're bringing the unique.
That's why you can't
to
take anything personal in this business because what somebody's looking for, you may not have, and they're looking for a specific thing.
Yeah, and you can't compare yourself and waste your time being jealous because it's not about that.
It's not.
Because you have your talents, I may have my talents, you have yours, and we all have our own unique talents.
And that's what's selling you.
And that's what's selling you. So, you know, you see that. If you could think more like Erica, a lot of actors out there, I think it would be probably a better team.
For me, when I go to an audition, I'm not so attached to whether or not I get the job. I measure the success of an audition based on how much fun I had and how many cool new people that I got to meet.
And what you learned from.
Exactly.
What you've learned from that.
You know, rejection is part of the game, and I see it. My take is that if I'm meant to have this gig, then it's going to be me, and if not, that just means that I'm being saved for something better.
Yeah, I look at it
That's
that way too.
That's a good philosophy. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes, like I said, they look at me, they look at a police officer, and I get, you know, pigeonholed every once in a while.
A lot of men do because you know you put the uniform on a guy and he fits the part. I mean that's with men especially. I mean we see that in a lot of the films that we've seen in Massachusetts the last couple of years, and you and I have been part of it. Have been about police detectives. Police
RIPD comes out tonight. It's about
I mean police officers and but the public relations world.
John, 1 second. We got a phone call.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we have your question, please?
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
My question is, what is the success rate for an actor?
What is the success? What was that?
The success rate. What are the percentage-wise for an actor?
Okay. How many people who actually make it? Yeah, Erica.
Honestly, the odds are against you, and it's almost like you can't have that attitude going into it. I almost say, you know, it depends on how you measure success.
Right.
If you're measuring success on how much fun you have and who you get to help and
then you're
what
successful.
you get to create.
I mean,
that's a great measure of success. But you know, if you're measuring on how many Hollywood movie roles you get, you know, it's
right.
You have to think of it as your job. When people say, "Oh, you do it," it's a job.
Oh, it is.
So you have to think of it as if you get up in the morning, it's your job. Okay, if you were going to be a teacher,
you love it. It actually calls you instead of you calling it.
Exactly.
But you want to do it so that's all you do, and it's a tough thing to do sometimes.
It is.
A tough thing to do.
John, I think we got another phone.
Okay, we have another call, Jim. Can we have a question, please?
Yes, I agree with David Brooks and Derrickson, first-time viewer and first-time calling here. Yeah. And the guy that is talking about so many movies that are made by police that involve police officers, I think he's right. That we have so many
we sure
movies
have. We sure have.
We have so many movies that have to do with so many cops and robbers. Like I remember on my birthday in 2012, they were doing this cop movie that was based on a true story called The Gangster Squad, and like that was based on cops and robbers from maybe the 70s of the Civil War and everything like that.
Right.
But,
well, you know, a lot of movies here in Boston have that element to it, and it certainly gives credence to the law enforcement world, and also how many people are interested in these kinds of movies. Obviously, with the trials. And with the legal system now, a lot of the things that we see on television, Bones, and a lot of the shows about forensic medicine and police,
I know, like
popular.
Law and Order, Special Victims Unit.
Law and Order, of course, right.
Like the Perception,
right.
Like Castle. And under the great TV shows as well back in the classic days, like Miami Vice,
right.
the A-Team, and everything like that.
Right, well, from
and
the early 80s, right.
And I think the reason why so much people do more movies about police officers and everything because they want to dedicate their well-being. They want to dedicate their lives how the world's finest of how the police in Boston are doing their job right.
Right, and I want to follow up on that. But thank you very much for calling because that's great insight. Also because with the police shows and the detective shows, we're talking about the human condition, and everyone can relate to that. Right. I mean, it's something that everyone can relate to. But thank you very much for calling, and glad you're enjoying the show. And we'll talk to you soon.
I was going to say, they made a great point about how that's really one of the key selling points of Boston is we have so much character here between the police force and just the geography and the seasons here. I mean, Boston is such a unique flavor.
The ambience of the ambience
and the energy. There's just something in the water here.
People remember, me and John are a little bit older, but the Brinks robbery and the Boston Strangler, which just came up again because of the DNA. These were movies that came out 30 years ago, and now they're coming back.
Right, and the Friends of Eddie Coyle, remember that was about 617-708-3288.
I think another one just called.
Okay, can we have your question, please?
Yes, I have a question for Erica. I was watching the clip, and I was wondering, is that clip supposed to be one complete story, and is it going to be shown to the public?
Great question. So thank you for asking. What that demo reel is it's not meant to be a story start to finish. It's meant to just show my range as an actor, and I use that as a tool just to show people these are the different characters I can play. This is how I can fit into the vision of your story. And so that demo is to sort of show them my range and just show them what I can do. It's essentially a marketing tool. It's not an archival document.
Right.
Good question.
617-708-3280. 617-708-3280. Give us a call.
It's fun.
Your concerns, issues, comments, whatever.
A lot, the RIPD movie tonight.
It's. I know. That's opening up tonight. But as far as the police detective programs, the forensic science and the forensic medicine programs and the movies that are shot here, it does give a lot of character, but it's also big city politics too, and people love this. People love it.
People unfortunately don't mind to see mystery death on TV and stuff.
And Spencer for Hire, the TV series that was shot here was about cops and detectives and all this stuff. And this is what people enjoy. This is what people like, and Boston offers that, and offers other things too. We had a movie shot mere feet, folks. When I say this, mere feet. Jim and I both worked in this. Not far from where we're sitting right now, about talking animals at a zoo. And did that make Boston shine, Jim? That made Boston look good.
Kevin James.
And here it was called The Zookeeper. It did well, and Kevin James came here for yet another film, and yet another one. So
he likes the area also. He's a big fan of the area. Boom, he did the Boom here and stuff. He's always
you and I worked on that, right?
He's always with Adam Sandler. He loves it. Adam Sandler, unfortunately, he's not making part 3 here. He's making that in Atlanta.
I heard Grown Ups 2 is very funny, actually.
Yes, it's good. Came out big the other day.
I didn't have a chance to see that yet.
Came out the other day. Finished second also. But like you say, it showcases the area, all around, not just Boston, all the cities and towns around the area, up to Rhode Island to Connecticut. It makes everybody look good.
Right.
And that's what the name of the game is. Everybody looks good. People will come here and make more movies.
Right. Now, Lydia, how's the public relations firm coming along?
Oh, it's doing excellent. Like right now, let's put my PR hat on to talk about what's going on in the city.
Right.
We talk about the MBTA, 15 of their routes. They're extending bus stops, putting up new shelters. I'm specifically working on Route 39, which runs through Jamaica Plain.
I know line 23 is going to be one of those.
Yes,
that's extended.
I'm working on 23.
That's not far from where we are now.
Exactly. I'm working on 23 Talbot Ave with LM Heavy and the Route 39. So they're doing a lot of enhancements on that route. So that's a good investment. Yeah. And that's IRA funding, which is important. And then I'm also actually won a contract with JF White and Skanska on the Green Line extension.
Right.
So I'll be working.
Where's that extended? Where's that extension going to?
Green Line extension into Cambridge, Somerville, and Medford.
Yay.
Oh.
So there'll be.
That's your area.
I live in Malden.
Eventually, by 2019, 27 stops, but they're funded right now to do 4 of them, and that will be occurring right now.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now through 2017. So it is exciting. I mean, we're talking brand new stations. We're just talking revitalization to an area
Easy
that
access.
needs it. We're just
And we're talking about a
jobs.
city that people are encouraged not to drive to because of Boston is a fairly small city, and the transit system is very comprehensive and take you anywhere you want to go, and it's a green environment. So
it's a positive. So
Yeah.
this is huge, and it's a very important project.
And
so,
this building right here was the T
Yeah. So this was an old power station.
for the
this
T.
was an old power
Yeah,
station. It's a perfect
and,
example of how something can be renovated, and look at the
Yeah.
beauty of the
Oh,
building.
it's beautiful. It's
Look at the beauty of the
beautiful,
building.
and it's a perfect location. It's accessible. So again, I mean, just from my experience when I worked at the T for so many years, the largest landowner in the state is
Yes.
the MBTA. So
Now,
people don't
right.
understand that and know that, but
Now, as a public relations person, do you have to do an assessment if somebody came to you and said, "Look, I need some PR here"? Is there an assessment that you?
well, yeah, exactly. If someone came to me with a crisis management issue or even just an image issue, of
Right.
course. I mean, I would have to do some research. They'd have to be honest with me. I'd have to do some research in the background and an assessment.
Because there's a lot no
Yes.
pun intended. There's a lot writing on that.
Oh, no, there is a lot.
No,
There
I
is a
didn't
lot.
mean that. No. There
You
is.
did it, but you did it.
So you have to be in stand-up comedy.
There is. No, you're right. There is.
There
a
is,
lot.
especially a person's reputation.
Oh,
You're dealing with
absolutely.
something that can't easily be, wiped away if something happens.
For example, I pursued Feng Hua because I wanted.
okay.
Bus.
I pursued Feng Hua early on to the point that I wrote a letter. I found out where the main office was, and I went to Chinatown and I found the guy and I knocked on the door, and I was like, I was just going to leave my package, my pitch that when you get your buses. When you get your buses renovated and re-inspected, I'll help you bring them back to the street with a new brand. And I wanted to
If
brand
anybody
it,
needs a new brand.
right? So I wanted to rebrand it, and the guy opened the door and it ended up being the president of Feng Hua. But that never worked out. But as you said, you had to be careful because I could have ended up in some,
Yes.
Right.
Bad
You didn't
situation.
know.
But that's a
Yeah.
hands-on, that's a hands-on
you have to
approach.
do things like that in my world. You have to take that chance,
I think we got another phone call, John.
Oh, do it? Okay, can we have your question, please?
Well, good evening, John.
Hey,
This is
good
Ted
evening.
Lewis.
Hey, Ted, how are you?
Hey, Ted.
Well, I'm recuperating, and
One of our
I
guests.
just wanted to stop in and say hello to everybody. I'm watching
Thank
the
you.
show via the social media computer.
There you go.
Ted is our social media guru,
Yes, sir.
and the reason why you watch it on YouTube and you see it on the websites and everything is thanks to Ted.
That's right. Ted does a great job.
Thanks, Ted.
Yeah, the
He
people
does.
here at
Hey,
BNN.
guys.
Thanks, Ted. Ted is back and forth to New York. Ted has a lot to do with Trip to Bountiful with Cicely
Right.
Tyson.
Sissy
We are
Tyson.
doing very well
Right.
with the production. Matter of fact, I got a chance to hang out with the cast last week, and it was phenomenal. I'll be talking about that when I get back to Boston. And
Doing it.
but right now, I just wanted to say you're doing a fantastic
Oh,
show.
thanks,
to-
Ted.
to the
Thank you.
MBTA, there was a glass train at one time, which I happened to see a picture of. I sure hope they bring it back to Massachusetts. Massachusetts is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful state that really needs to be shown off, and
It is.
the MBTA is the ambassador.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you very much. And it's always a pleasure to hear from you and work with you. And that's what the movie industry says. We love Massachusetts.
I hope so. We give them tax breaks.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
that's
they
so
key.
important to do.
That is the
That's
key.
so important to do.
You know, unfortunately, it's a money situation. I mean,
And
that's bad.
Ted brings up something that's important. Ted is doing some work with Trip to Bountiful, which is running in New York City right now.
Yeah.
It's on Broadway with Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
And the theater district here, which is not far from where we are right now, they get tax breaks too. You know, there are tax breaks involved with that on a smaller
Small
level with the
scale.
city.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that come to the theater district is phenomenal, and that's because of PR too. That wasn't like that 25, right, Jim? It wasn't like that 25 years ago. It wasn't like
You're
that, but
right.
now it's
It's
just
huge.
bustling.
Another call, John.
Can we have your question, please?
Yes, I have a question for Lydia. Lydia, are you acting in anything now? And do you find now that you're involved with the PR, it's harder to find acting roles?
No, well, presently right now I'm doing some extra work. I've been doing a lot of work on The Judge with Robert Downey Jr., just background work, and I've done some work on The Equalizer. I've just started to promote my business, so no, I mean, I'm able to juggle them both, but obviously I do have to choose my business first before I take the gigs with the extra work. But it's been flexible for me as opposed to when I worked at the T having to work, 9 to 7, 9 to 8, and I was required to be there a specific time. So now I have that flexibility to take on various other things, and I can juggle them. No, I'm having an exciting time. As my PR business grows, obviously I'll have to make some choices.
Right, and that's an important thing that we
Yeah.
talk about that a lot, because
Your life.
it's not necessarily the acting world, as much as people love it, and we all promote it, of course, and we've all done a lot of things. That doesn't mean that you work with it or you work at it 24/7.
No.
You don't. You don't. We have a lot of projects here, but not everybody is called all the time, even when they are here. So people do have their day job. But I had a question for you. How does a PR person do the PR for their company?
Okay, so I initially came out and I built my own website.
Right.
I didn't overthink it. I got a certificate with the City of Boston, a business certificate for $50.
So social media is key here.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm on Twitter. I have a LinkedIn is huge with me. It's a professional, as you know, site. Again, Facebook. I have some cards and just networking. Networking's huge.
Again,
I go
like
to a lot of
the
networking
business.
events.
The business,
Networking.
right.
I have to promote myself everywhere in Boston. Any event I'm invited to, I'll attend. I'm certified with the state now as a DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise.
Okay.
I'm a women business enterprise, and I'm just networking, and I hit the pavement every day.
Nice.
You've had a chance to work in some projects here too. Films.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Specific,
The Judge. Both of you worked in the.
Well, actually, no. I didn't work
Was it
on The
The
Judge.
Equalizer?
I did go for the audition. I did go for the callback,
All right.
and I didn't get the part,
All right.
which is fine. But I didn't work on The Equalizer, but I did sneak onto the set twice when they were filming right next to my office in Charlestown, which was kind of fun. I felt like a ninja.
They're also in Chelsea too, right?
Yeah, so
Well, they're all over the place.
They're all over, yeah.
But when I saw them near where I was, I couldn't help. I'm like a moth to the flame when it comes to a set. I'm drawn to
sneak
it.
over to craft services?
No, I did help.
I did that
But
one
the
time.
business is very appealing.
Oh, yeah,
It's
and
almost
I
like
love
we
I
don't
love
choose the
business.
the business chooses us.
Absolutely.
We have a desire to do this, and the opportunity is here.
Absolutely, and more so than ever before, especially with the New England studios launching very soon.
Yeah.
That's right. We had
Joan Quinn Eastman on.
We had Joan Quinn Eastman on a couple of
lovely.
months ago, and the New England studio apparently, Jim, is ready to open. If it hasn't already, it's opening in August at some point.
yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if it's already opening or open, but it's opening in the middle of August. Is that correct?
Phase 1 of the development is scheduled to be completed by September 15th.
Okay.
At which point they will be open for business.
All
They
right.
have 4 sound stages with an office to support. They can support a couple TV shows.
We can do
exactly.
pre-production,
Oh, everything,
production,
everything.
and post-production.
The studio provides everything for a large production to come to Boston and make Boston their
it's
home.
almost like they have their own
Before they had to
infrastructure.
send that back to New York and
Exactly.
LA.
Exactly.
Right.
Now they can just cut it in
And
half.
what's also great about the New England studios is that they're really focusing on employing local people.
Right, and that's important. And for so many years, we've been hearing that there's going to be a studio here, and there's going to be a studio there, and somebody's going to build one here, and the financing is coming through for this one. But this is real.
Exactly.
This is
I've been
here.
there.
This has been built, and this is going to open.
Yeah, and I think that was also one of the biggest challenges with the studio is combating all of the failed projects.
Right. Because
in the
we had
past.
other projects that just didn't make
the
it. That
Plymouth
just
studios,
didn't make
and
it.
there's a lot of still sort of like residual disappointment and negativity. So now when people, when they've had to combat that.
So Hollywood is here.
Hollywood is here, but it's its own thing here. The dream is here. Maybe Hollywood itself, as we know it, is not here in the same form, but the dream of Hollywood is very much alive and well here.
And physically, it's here.
And
It's
physically,
too.
All of Hollywood East.
Well, yeah, that name right there, some people like it.
Yes.
Some people, like myself, I went into the Mass Film Bureau and talk to Lisa Strout. She's
Right.
in charge. I
Okay.
talked to her via a phone call because she was out sick, but I have a planned meeting with her next week. And I told Lisa, and I told other people,
Right.
that Hollywood East reminds me that we're still trying to be Hollywood, where I think we have to make our own identity. I think we're not New York, we're not Hollywood.
Right.
We're New England, Rhode Island, Connecticut, but we should be named something that would be appropriate to us. That we can live up to our own name.
And Hollywood is coming here because of
Right.
what we do have to
That's
offer.
right. We could be called something else besides
Right.
Hollywood. And Lisa Strout agreed with me. She's the head of the Mass Film Bureau.
Right.
And like I said, I have a meeting with her set up for next week. And we're talking about more movies coming here, more principal roles for actors here instead of going out to LA and in New York coming to our area.
Right.
We're going to have new
Because
principal workers.
even though we have a lot of projects here,
Yeah.
it's the extras that get the
We don't have
the extras
Right.
get the
I
jobs
was told,
here.
I was told the other day by a staff worker of Lisa's that
Right.
there's more principal actors in the last
being
2
offered here.
years here than ever before. And there's more to come. That's what the meeting will be next week.
And that's
with.
why it's so important for these auditions.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's how you get chosen.
Absolutely.
And we'll be,
And you have a good tape.
yeah.
And why it's important for people to have a tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
real.
you know, not just have the tape, but be getting out there and going to networking events. I mean, I'm every single MPC event, I'm there networking. That's the Massachusetts Production Coalition.
Yes, it is.
The Women in Film has a great monthly free networking event for filmmakers that's open to both men and women. Bossy Pug last night, that's the Boston Creative Pro User Group led by Dan Berube. He started a networking group more for the post-production side, for the editors, anyone interested on the production side of making
Right.
films. So last night they hosted the guys from Red Giant, which is one of the most amazing visual
And
effects
that
software
that
companies
provides a
on the
lot of
market.
jobs, and we don't talk
Exactly.
about that very often. About
Well, people
the
really don't
technical
know about
part
it.
of Right? They
Unless
don't know
someone
about
brings
that.
it up.
Right.
They don't know about
Right.
all these jobs that behind the scenes.
Right.
Well, that's the thing about acting in filmmaking is that you see the actors up on screen and it seems like it's all about them, but it's not.
No.
It's the actors are.
All you have to do is look at the credits at the
Oh,
end.
God.
And
I
you'll
think we
see
got one
that.
more phone call, John.
Hey, Jim, we do? Okay, we have your question, please.
Yes, I have a question for Erica.
Yep.
Erica, I was wondering, have you ever done any modeling for eye makeup? You have the most beautiful blue eyes, and if not, have you thought about that as
She can't see my eyes.
some way to make money?
Well, we never talked about modeling, but people in this business, both male and female, have modeling
both
experience
are,
here.
yeah.
My experience in
Yeah,
front of the
sure.
camera started out modeling. I was living in Singapore at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've lived all over the world, including Singapore, India, Paris. And then when I was in the United States, I've lived in Chicago, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Los
You're so
Angeles,
young.
New York, and then now Boston.
Chicago is a great city.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful
It's
place.
a great place.
But so I started out modeling, but it just never really appealed to me. I don't think that I'm a very good model.
And your interest is more.
My interest,
Yeah,
acting, right.
I have a desire, a desire that I cannot deny that I
Right.
need to be acting in front of
You
the
don't
camera.
follow your heart.
Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
I mean, modeling is, you know, to be an actor, you pick up side gigs all where you can, and modeling modeling and promo work can be great, but that's not really my focus.
And that's called print work too, for the people that are in the industry, and we've done stuff like that too. Print work, you know, you see
I'm
people.
too short too. Also, I'm a shoddy.
Well, print work is lucrative, and you can't dismiss
No,
that.
that's
And it's
great
all,
work.
smart
and it's
to
all, of
use
course, of
when
course.
you're waiting for your
Right.
roles. I mean, although you're focused on being an actor, again, print work is lucrative.
Right, yes,
Voiceovers
it is.
are lucrative.
Yeah.
I mean,
When
you
you
can
can
go
find
in
them,
when you get them. You can go
Yeah.
in. I did a lot of print work when I was younger for magazines and videos and things like that. And
Right.
you can do an hour work and make $600.
Right,
I
and we
mean,
don't
you
realize that
know,
there are a lot
it's-
of modeling
it's
agencies
lucrative.
here in
There are.
Boston, and they're involved with the casting of
Yes.
extras.
Yeah.
They're involved with
Right.
the whole thing. 617-708-3280. 617-708-3280. My co-host Jim Sayer and I, co-hosting the show tonight, about the motion picture industry and the importance of keeping it here, having it come here, and keeping it here in the Bay State. That's why, folks, it's very important to contact your local senator, Massachusetts senator, Massachusetts rep, and say, hey, look, we want those tax breaks to stay here in Massachusetts. We want those movies to keep coming here because it gives Massachusetts some great PR, provides jobs for a lot of people both in front of and behind the camera, and it's just overall great economic.
It doesn't cost much.
Right.
and it doesn't lose. We don't lose money.
Right.
We never lost money on any film.
Maybe they'll come to your town.
That's
you
right.
know? I
And
mean,
you could be
they're in
the
Dorchester
movies.
and Roxbury and Mattapan, with filming all over.
That's right. And it's a good investment.
Right.
And that's why a few years ago we all went up to the State House. I was up to the State House. I contacted my rep, and when we went in the State House, the room there, and they were talking to all of us about, why should we keep the tax? But my rep was right there, front and center.
Jim,
and that's important.
Right. Jim had a chance, myself as well, had a chance to work in RIPD. Jim, tell the audience how much was spent. That movie.
120 million.
Some serious money.
That's a lot of money, John.
Some serious money in the city.
Wasn't it the biggest
Yes.
production budget
Yes,
here
it was.
of a film made in
It
Boston?
was. And they filmed months and months. And
4,
they filmed
5, 6 months maybe?
5 months, I believe it was. And
Yeah.
they spent a lot of money, just not on the film. I know we were in Hyde Park and indoors for 9 days. We were working, and they sent out pizzas at 11 o'clock at night.
So
They
it
had
helps
about
the infrastructure
60
too.
pizzas.
A lot of, yeah.
If
That's
you just
right.
think of the coffee alone.
That's right. I mean, the people don't realize that everybody takes a part of the movie business when it comes there. When they film in no matter what city or town, that town is being tenfold back the money that they put in.
Everything from flower shops to
That's
lumber
right.
yards, coffee shops,
That's
food,
right.
hotels,
bride-
everything, taxis, every
Kate
aspect.
Hudson, when she filmed here, the first movie, Bridal Wars?
Bride Wars.
Bridal was, right.
The girl came in with the flowers. They spent $6,000 on flowers for the one scene.
And then her second film was with Dane Cook. That was my girlfriend's friend, or my best friend's girl.
Yeah.
And we
John
worked
had
on
a
that.
part in What's Your Number.
What's
Everybody
Your
see What's Your
Number
Number? John had a good part in it.
Delivering
the flowers.
I was a security guard. I was like the head of security or something, delivering flowers. But Shutter Island, you had a good part there. Was it Shutter Island that you had a good part?
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. So Jim and I have done a few things. And
One last phone call, I think, John.
We have a question. Can we have your question, please?
Hi. This question is to both the ladies. Now that there's so many adventure pictures for men, as women, do you find it more difficult to get really good roles for women that have good stories?
Good question.
Lydia?
Great question. So, great roles for women are definitely
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, well, for example, the Heat, that was starring two
Melissa McCarthy.
powerful leading females, which was great, and I would personally love to see more roles like that. I do find that I'm able to find a whole range of roles that allow me to express different kinds of women.
It's what it is out there. It's a man's world, they say, and a lot of men move, but women in this business is just as equal as men, I think. I don't think the men have a upper hand on anything.
What's great about this industry, it's equal opportunity.
That's right.
Yeah,
you can go as hard as hard as you work. You can go as far as you take yourself. And if there's not a good role there for you or that you like, make one happen. Write one, make it happen. That's my philosophy.
Lydia?
I believe it's competitive, and I believe that men have it a little better than women. It's a business, and from what I've experienced in my business world, it does stream into the acting world, absolutely.
Right.
But again, it's your uniqueness and your drive to succeed that will get you there. So
while more male directors.
You're a female, exactly, and you're female, and you want to break that glass ceiling, I mean, you can.
Like what you had just said, Erica, the two films right now that are opening up or will be opened by tonight, Heat and RIPD. Heat is a woman, that would be a picture
female buddy cop.
Buddy cop. And then RIPD, a lot of younger males might go see something like that because it's an action-adventure film. But both of them are out there. They're both major releases. I don't know where the time went tonight. It's like almost over. But if people wanted to get in contact with you, Lydia, how would they do that?
Okay, well, they could, obviously I'm on Facebook, but my email address is lidriv@verizon.net. My communications business is, I have a website, it's lidrivcommunications.com.
Right.
And that's it.
And they can contact you?
Yeah.
And Erica?
My branding online is really easy. It's Erica D Actress. That's my website, ericadactress.com. So Erica Derrickson is my name. So ericadactress.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Erica D Actress is my Twitter handle, and I love tweeting and I love meeting new people.
Social media is,
and then
PR is the name of the game.
And then on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Erica D Actress. So it's really easy to remember and it's really easy to find me. So you can see more of my work and my demo reel on my website. And I love connecting with new people, and I'm always open to meeting.
We love having you on the program.
Thank you.
We love have both of you on the program.
It's been fun.
And a lot of people, are sitting home saying, Jim and John have like the screenwriters are coming on all the time, and actors are coming on all the time, which is true. And directors come on all the time in comics, but we never really saw a demo tape like we saw tonight.
Yeah.
That was something interesting to see, because people are sitting home saying, I want to see what
movies,
Right.
We've
had directors bringing their film on, but an actual demo tape that sells you, and you're the product. You're the product. You're the one that's out there.
And I am my best agent.
Yeah.
I am my best source of opportunity and work.
Right.
But it's smart that you diversified it too.
Right, that is.
You diversified it.
Because you don't know what they're looking for.
Right, but exactly. So that she
in
did
this
a good
business.
job.
I mean, they could be looking for anybody.
Exactly.
To do anything.
And that's why you can't take it personally if they don't
No, of
want
course
you,
not.
because it's not personal. They were just looking for something else.
Right.
One last phone call, John. We're going to sneak one in.
Can we have your question, please?
Yes, hi. Good
Hi.
evening. This is Helen. And
Hi,
I was
Helen.
Hi,
I was calling to say that I enjoyed the show.
Oh, thank you.
As always, and I wish Erica the best because she has a very positive attitude. And you keep right on doing what you're doing, young lady.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And you all have a good night.
Thank you, Helen. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Helen calls on our show occasionally. Tyrone comes on sometime, and she's a good friend of he's a good friend of Helen's, and always enjoyed when Helen gives us a call. Well,
me too.
Yeah, it was great.
She's cool.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we mentioned this a little bit tonight, and we're going to mention it tonight to give credence to hear what goes on, but we always see people, because of the very nature of what it is, we see people on screen. We see people on film. We see people on television, just like you're watching the four of us right now. But we have to say a very special thank you and a very special appreciation. We get this in the movie industry too, to all of those people behind the scenes, because folks, believe me when I say this, Jim and I don't do this on our own.
No.
We have help. What you see tonight is because a lot of people are involved here at BNN, and they're helping put this show on television so that you could watch it and to know how important, how salient, how essential bringing these projects here to the Bay State.
Right.
Absolutely.
And everybody who comes, they see us, but they don't see the people behind the cameras.
Right,
Back
or the
here in
control room.
And
the
it's a hot day today, and they made their way here.
They did, to help us out and
That's
bring
right.
this program into your homes. And or because thanks to social media, on your phones and on your iPads and on wherever else that you happen to be watching it. And that's saying something about social media. It's out there.
Right.
To ignore social media.
Oh no, you can't do that. Not in this business.
To ignore social media is to deny the direction that the world is going.
That's right.
And you can't fight that.
Yeah.
If you want to see anything now, you can see it on YouTube or you can see it anywhere, and it's instant. If that word can be applied, everything now is instant.
Well, the barriers are down.
Right.
Yeah.
We can be, especially using technologies like Twitter. I mean, I can directly communicate with people that I want to work with. I can sidestep all of the threshold guardians and go straight to the decision maker now, thanks to social media.
Well, someday we're going to have Twitter's people sitting here asking questions on Twitter, right to one of our guests.
I'm sure
John,
that's not on.
Ted will do that.
Ted will have to tell us how to do
that,
that, Jim. I
Me
mean,
and
he'll have
John's
to
not
train.
too bright on that.
We'll have to
I'm
have Ted
actually
do that.
hosting a Twitter webinar for actors and filmmakers to learn how to use Twitter for their careers on the 30th in the evening. It's a free webinar co-hosted with award-winning actress and marketing consultant out in LA named Emily Grace, and a Twitter essentially guru, this guy named Keith Keller in Australia. So the three of us are going to be hosting a call. It's free and open to everyone, and that's on the 30th.
You want to give the address or?
Sure. People can visit the link to sign up and learn more. It's http://bit.ly/Twitter4HEA.
Oh.
If you're interested, just
Maybe
reach
we can
out to me.
find it on
just
you.
Find me if you find me
Exactly.
on Twitter, Erica D Actress, or on my website. Get in contact with me if you're interested, and I'll give you all the information to sign up.
There you go.
Twitter
Exactly.
is such. I mean, I've gotten roles. I've gotten lead roles in projects because of people that I've connected with over Twitter.
Right.
You know.
Awesome.
That's how you do
That's
it
great.
nowadays. Instant, like you said.
Lydia and Erica, thank you so much for being on our show
for
tonight.
having
Thank you
us
for
tonight.
having
And Jim,
us.
as usual, thank you for
you,
being
John.
the great co-host that you are. And we're looking forward to some of the projects that are going to take place, continuing to take place here in July and August. Anything coming in September?
I think there's 2 movies coming. I know, like I said earlier, part 1 would be the movies that we're going to sign up for next week, but the second movie I haven't got a word on. I'll find out next show.
Join us in September for an all-new edition of the program. Take care.